That's quite piercing.
It's definitely something.
Welcome back, everybody. Uh, when we left off last time, we had come upon the Shrine of Savras, and there were lots of orcs camped out in the place, and our party wiped them out. And then maybe one foe sort of wandered away in a daze and confusion, and might still be afoot, but is not in your sight line right now. Everything seems quiet. You're in the courtyard at the Shrine of Savras. Before you, there is a building. As I described last time, it's sort of in the shape of a cross with some rooms that run north and south and some rooms that run east-west. And it looks kind of just like an old country church with a steeple made of stone, like human stonework that you see. And it looks like the church your grandfather might have founded if he lived in the country, but made of stone, of course. A shingled roof and a belfry that is rising out, similar to a steeple, and a copper bell hanging instead. There's two double doors to your south. You're all standing in the north area of the courtyard, kind of getting your bearings after a massive battle. What do you do?
Is everybody okay? I mean, nobody's mortally injured, right?
I don't think so, but I think I need to heal.
I mean, I took some injuries, but I think I can go on.
Mirren is, I think that he doesn't hear anything. He's actually like sitting with his legs crossed, and he's really high up on this tower, and so
Yes.
Talking volume probably couldn't hear anything, but he's also kind of already shut out everything, and he's kind of in a meditative state as he's sitting over the courtyard, and then just kind of like breathing in, taking it all in after the battle.
It just occurs to me that we did have one other activity that happened at the very end of last sesh. You might not have caught it. It was just so quick. But Nars actually, as everybody is recovering, walks through the doors of the church and looks around, pokes his head around, and has cast Detect Magic. And as he looks in the southern room inside this church, he feels the aura calling to him from around this altar, and it's divination magic. Obviously, this is a shrine to Savras, which is the god of divination and truth, foreseeing such things such as this. And he comes back out, confirms to you that there's nobody in the buildings.
There's no one in the building.
There's no one in the building.
Okay.
Does anyone see the ogre that I tricked into walking away?
I probably have the best vantage point at this point.
Yeah, 'cause
after I'd finished my meditation, I'd probably stand up and just take a quick, like a look around.
He's not in your sight line.
Okay.
Because I imagine Willow, Tharden, and Nars are inside the shrine.
You
So
and
he's-
Willow are still outside the
We're still
shrine,
outside? Okay.
taking
All
some
right,
heavy
outside.
beating.
Okay.
You're
yeah,
outside
I'm
the shrine.
definitely going to need to heal.
Um, should we search that shrine a little more? I mean, he didn't see anyone, and he did detect magic. There was some magic radiating off of the shrine.
It sounds like the dwarf wants to go into the church. What do you all do? First of all,
follow him in.
Mirren is up high
Yeah,
right
he
now.
can't-
I'm standing
can't
on
hear us.
on top of a tower.
Yeah.
What is your
how high is that?
passage? You're about 35 feet up right
Okay.
now. The walls are about 20 feet high, and they about match the walls of the church.
Okay.
So the walls of the church and the walls of the gate of the wall, they're very similar.
Yeah.
Similar in
I can
height,
see that.
similar in
build construction.
and you see the easternmost flank of this building. It extends about 15 feet beyond where you could reach it if you went down to the wall.
Okay.
So we were talking about how are the jumping rules, and I've made the calculation that you could jump to the roof of that church. And the church, it's a shrine. It's not a church. You can see very well that portions of the walls of this church are caved in. You know, it's in the same disrepair as the walls that surround it. You can see that some of the walls have been compromised from where you are.
Sure.
We can sneak in or out. Nars had confirmed. You'd heard Nars confirm that there's nobody in there, and at this point, you could make your way as you will, or there's an iron ladder you can climb down through a wooden hatch that's at the top of that tower where you are.
Normally I would train in my acrobatic skills because I love doing that. But this time I actually do want to climb down. I was interested to just see a little bit more of the interior, whatever interior spaces. So I would just be kind of going down and looking around as I'm going.
You don't need to roll or anything. It's an iron ladder. You've climbed ladders before. You're just climbing down, and the wall is in shitty shape. That's all you see.
I'll slide down gracefully, but yeah, I would just make my way towards Darden and Willow and Nars. So what do we do now?
Well, Nars went in and he
You guys,
he
sorry.
didn't see any movement, but he detected some magic along the shrine.
Is that all?
Fellows, I've also detected that our horses may need some help, and I do not see any danger. I can see them from the busted doorway that he's going to go and collect the horses, is basically the paraphrase here. Nars trods off down the path to collect the horses. As they are
where we left
alone,
them.
and he is concerned. You guys look around and you can see there are actually some troughs with some water in them that are for horses, and some posts that you can tie them to. So he's going to go retrieve them and leave you on your own for the time being.
I'm glad that we are keeping mind of Al's horses. They are very valuable to him, as he has said.
I bid you adieu. For now, I'll be back with the horses.
Okay, lad. That's a good idea. They need water. What happened? You know, when you were fighting, there was two of those big creatures, and now, what happened to them? I only saw one dead body.
From what I saw, one vacated in quite a hurry. Almost seemed like it was of divine intervention that he ran so fast. And
Well, what do you think, lad? Should we go hunt him down?
I do think that he is still a danger if he is still present.
I don't think we should let him stay alive. Maybe he's gonna bring back more.
I agree with Tharden on that. That's kind of concerning. If he got away, then we should probably track down at least where he went, even if we don't kill him, just to make sure he doesn't bring anybody back.
His race is quite unintelligent. I don't know if there's too much to worry about, but still, he is a danger. And have we even explored everything there is to explore here?
Not yet. I don't think.
You have not.
So,
We just
um,
checked the altar. That was about it.
yeah.
Can I make a perception check?
What are you trying to perceive?
I don't know. I'm just trying to see if there's anything
General
else
check?
in this
Yeah.
room
Go
that
ahead. Roll me a
could
perception.
possibly have gone unchecked.
Roll me a perception.
17. I'm gonna double check my perception. Sorry, I'm running this on one thing. +4. 21.
That's very perceptive. I'm trying to remember exactly where you were standing last time, and I believe that you had just morphed out of your bear shape. And
Yeah, I think I was close
we're up
to
in
the
the-
entrance. I was
were
right next
y'all
to the
were right
bar.
outside the. I remember now. You guys were right outside the gatehouse, just killing them, slaughtering them.
Yeah. In this,
And so
the entrance to the
But in style. They were slaughtered in style.
the entrance to this church is just like kind of directly in front of the entrance to
Yeah.
this area. I'm envisioning this. Yeah.
the entrance to the church faces north, opposite where you would come through the portcullis of the gatehouse. You can see the two doors are very ramshackle. It's amazing they're still hanging on. And the walls to the west of the place are quite smashed. You'd be able to see that. You'd be able to see bits of smashed armor lying about, as if they were just having a raucous time of things. You know, there had been battles there where they had been besieged and beat down an enemy. You can see a glint over in the southwest corner.
The glint.
Yes, there's these 4 what used to be towers. The one that orc was in is the only one that remains. So a lot of them are just now rubble-strewn, like circles on the ground.
I'll go check out the sparkle.
Yeah. Go over there and you find a rusty iron bell that's quite old. It's half buried.
Church bell or a handheld bell?
A large church bell.
Well, I guess I'll try and dig it out. You guys want to help me dig
I'll
this
come-
out?
Yeah, lass. I'll come help you, Willow.
I
And,
appreciate it. Thank you.
I start picking up rocks and throwing them out of the way.
While the dwarf and the drow, little drow, go to work digging out this rusted ancient iron bell, what is Mirren doing?
I want to enter the area that Nars went into the church, and he had experienced it, but I didn't see any of that. So
You heard him say that his detect magic had been pinged in the
I
southern
did. Yeah, I
portion of
did.
that building.
yes, I did hear that, but I didn't. I kind of just wanted to see it for myself. you know.
And you walk in, and you're in the main hall and belfry. And what you see are rows of crumbling pillars. There's about 8 of them on each side. They support a 40-foot high vaulted ceiling inside this hall. It's made of wood and rafters. Humanoid bones all over the floor. And a 10-foot square hole in the ceiling leads to the belfry. And you can see what looks to be copper bell hanging in the belfry. Looks like untarnished copper the more you look at it.
Yeah, I think that I would. Is there a rope to engage the bell?
There's no rope. Does anybody have some rope?
No, I got rope. I have rope, and I'm
Every D&D character has
yeah,
rope.
every character has rope. But no, I think I would actually just I have my dagger, and I think I just want to like throw it up and return it back to me to.
You want
Just
to kind
hear the
of
bell
clang
ring?
the bell? Is that what you're
To ring the bell.
I'm considering it.
Okay.
I think I'm considering it.
Okay.
I want to examine. Is there anything else that I see around the bell? I just see a bell. That's all. Right.
It looks to be affixed to the beam, the support beam right above it, with an iron device, like some bolts, carriage bolts. That's what you can see.
Okay.
So you're looking up into a 40-foot high ceiling that is higher beyond that through a 10 by 10 square in the ceiling.
Yeah.
That leads higher, to where you would have seen it eye level. You remember seeing it. You remember seeing it from the bell, from the tower.
Yeah, I actually
It
considered.
was glinting in the sun.
I considered jumping over there from up there, but I wanted to dialogue with my party members. Is there any way for me to access that area, that space up there?
Since you mention it, you could definitely jump from the wall to the top of the church. But
Yeah.
you won't clear it with your feet. You'll kind of come down. Your body will clear it, but your feet will not.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if I notice this and see that I can get up there and it sees like, and it
Or
seems
you
like-
could try to climb the walls they have plenty of handholds. It's human stonework. You could climb the stone wall
yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
didn't want to try to do that acrobatic. You could
Yeah.
climb up, or you could try to do a somersault.
yeah, no, I was thinking a somersault, obviously, but no, I don't think that if I can access it in here, that I would try that.
You want to access it in here?
If I can get through that 10-foot space,
Oh yeah, if
Yeah.
you can get up there.
yeah.
How would you go about doing that?
How high is the ceilings?
40-foot ceiling.
Oh yeah. I think I would actually, seeing all that, I probably would just return. I think that's how I would play this out.
I mean, it's 40. It's 40 foot. Let me phrase that. It's a vaulted, so it's a very peaked vaulted 40-foot high.
Yeah.
So
as
as it comes down to the edge of the roof, that's more like in line with where you are on the wall.
yeah. So
The
that's,
walls aren't 40 feet high. The walls are
exactly.
barely 20 feet high.
Right. So yeah, I think what I would like to do is I would look in there and see all that. The bell seems to be of interest to me. Like I want to take a look at it. They're going to look at a bell. They probably, I think that I would make my way back up to my original position up the.
Climbing the iron ladder in
Yeah.
the tower, up to the top of the tower, over the tower battlement, down the wall,
That's right.
down even with the. Let me look at my map. Sorry.
I should be able to climb up and then climb back down to the wall that I originally was on, because that
Yes.
would have been level with the church. So
Yes, that's exactly what I had in mind from your description. So yeah, you are on this piece of wall slightly to the north of where the corner, that northeast corner is,
yes.
and you're looking at a diag jump of about 15 feet. So like using the D&D mechanics, you can
Yeah.
do this move
I could
and catch the side of the building with your hands, basically. You set your hands in your
Yeah.
body.
Yep. Okay. Well, however you'd like me to execute that, I'm happy to.
You can just do it.
Okay.
You jump to the roof of the building. You are on the northeast corner of this building, with a vaulted roof, and you can go from there. It's shingled.
Okay.
Like
And
the
then-
Spanish tile, kind of nice old earthenware clay ceiling shingles.
And I'm just trying to also with my motions are usually very light, so I am just trying to.
Cat.
I'm
Very
trying.
cat-like.
It's very old, and there's a lot of rubble around, so I don't want to fall. I'm just trying to be cautious of that.
The wood elf leaps gracefully from the wall to the roof and scrambles up and climbs to the belfry, where he can get an up-close look at that apparently looked like copper bell. And as he gets there, he can see some paint, copper paint, peeling off with what is flashing in the last rays of the sun as gold underneath. And as he can't believe his eyes, he can't believe his eyes.
I can't believe my eyes. That there's gold inside of this, basically.
Mirren comes to the realization that this entire bell is most likely made of gold
Made of
and painted
gold,
copper.
and it's been disguised for some reason, possibly for safekeeping. Or
You see Nars coming back down the trail southward towards you, leading 2 horses in each hand. How's our
Have
other
we,
how's
dug
our
out
other
that bell
bell
yet?
how's our other bell job? Yeah. Yeah, you
digging it
guys have
out.
used your hands, I guess, to dig this old rusty iron bell. It's quite a bit bigger than the one that Mirren has his eyes on. But it appears to be really old and rusted as fuck.
Ah, Willow, let me tell you. You see these rocks? They're using river stone. And let me tell you, these humans, they use river stone and hill stone. Where I come from, mountain dwarfs, we use real mountain stone and dwarven mortar. And that's why our walls never come down.
And we have a
pretty
discourse on dwarven stonework, pros and
What
cons
do you
with human.
what do you make of the spell?
It looks. It's a. Did we say it was a copper bell or a?
No.
No. What was
No, I think this one is
Rust.
iron.
It's
Iron.
mostly rust. You can
Rust,
tell that
okay.
this bell at one time was a sturdy iron bell many, many years ago.
it looks very old.
It crumbles as you blow on it.
Wow, really?
Wah,
Ah,
wah.
it looks like it's of no value, but it's a good try.
Oh yeah. I mean,
From
it happens.
I'm looking down on
Where
them,
are the other guys?
right? You know, I'm looking down on them, discussing
Willow
this.
looks around and sees her elf brethren on top of the roof of the church, looking at the bell, looking back at them, looking at the bell.
Hi.
Ours.
What'd you find?
From what I'm seeing up here, like at this bell, is it approximately the same size? Smaller? No,
It's much smaller than the one they have.
much smaller.
Yes.
What'd you find up there, Biden?
I think. Can he hear me up here? Because I feel like I'm way up, right? Or can I hear him?
You over the wind, you just hear a muffled dwarven voice.
Yeah. And so, in that, I actually take a gold coin out and like flip it down to where they're at. And
Is it talking?
huh?
Is the coin talking?
No, I'm not.
No, that's
I'm not-
Nars.
I'm not that magical.
Does it say I'll be back?
But as I like toss it like towards Tharden, like in hopes for Tharden to catch it. But as he catches it or looks, or tries to catch it, whichever, I take my dagger out and I like lightly ting the bell. Not strong, but just like lightly.
Arden, how do you react to this scene?
I catch the coin as it comes down, and I look up at the bell, and I look back at Willow. It looks like the broken bell that we found was replaced by one that works.
Yeah, I think his looks a lot.
I wave
Nicer.
up. I wave up at Mirren.
His
Mirren!
looks to you two on the ground. His looks really shiny in the last rays of the setting sun. It looks really shiny and beautiful
Wow.
and
Yeah.
untarnished, like untarnished copper might gleam in the setting sun.
Yeah.
Pull it down, Miran.
I think I'm pulling this down.
I double dog dare ya.
Yeah.
He can't.
Nars,
This-
you all turn to see Nars is tying up all of the horses to these wooden posts that are on the northern side of this building, and there he's letting them drinks from some of the troughs that are nearby. And he walks over, wants to know what's going on. Hello, I'm Nars. What's going on here? What did you find?
Hey, lad, we found a bell over there that's quite rusted. Willow and we dug it out.
Nars
Like
glances over at the ruined iron old bell that looks like,
it looks like Mirren.
Total
if you can
garbage.
See up above,
and he looks up and sees
That-
Mirren.
copper bell up there.
Yeah, our bell sucks. Mirren's is better. Steal it, Mirren!
I do examine the just like what's holding up the bell right now. Yeah.
As Nars is approaching you guys on the ground from the north, you kind of look around and you notice a lot of pits or have been dug around the area, the southern area. You did not see this in last session because we spent most of our time on the northern hilling fields of this now quiet complex. But there's a bunch of holes. You can see way out west, there's holes even beyond where the walls end. And they just go down a little ways and stop.
And they look like trenches. Is that what you
They
said?
just look like holes dug in the ground.
Like they were looking for something, or for a defensive purpose?
Roll me perception.
Okay.
Hmm.
A 12.
Arden can tell with his life experience that these holes look to be dug by folks and are not natural formation of any kind.
It looks like they're looking for something.
Can anybody recount the legend of this place?
Yeah.
The treasure.
They hid the treasure. Am I recalling this correctly? That there was hidden treasure that was
Yep.
never discovered, and they couldn't find. They couldn't figure out where it was, and then I think that I had been actually recalling this the whole time I was standing up there. Really, this story was kind of coming to me.
I'll tell you what, another little detail I'm going to add in because it just makes sense with where we're going with this. You look down and you definitely see that they have a bell that they're working on. You saw that when you walked away. You saw them going to work on this worthless looking bell to try to dig it up.
Where was this? Oh yes, absolutely,
And
yes.
When we started,
Yes.
Yeah.
you knew
I knew
you knew there was a bell down there.
Well, I saw them walking towards even maybe like a half bell structure, maybe sticking up or something, maybe, right?
Yep.
Like I could
Yeah,
maybe
you-
see that in the distance.
Right. You were above
Aaron
us. You
has
were
put
above us.
together 2 and 4 and gotten 6 and come to the
6.
realization that the
That's 6.
people had hidden their gold as the bell
Yeah.
in this
So-
tower and
so-
painted it to look copper.
Yeah, for safekeeping. And
That's
in,
actually genius.
That is.
in
that
in
is.
this recollection, do I recall who owned the gold, or was it the miners?
Was the people of Connieberry.
It was the people of
As
Connieberry, yeah.
the story goes, the barbarians were going to attack their village. Now, the priest seers in this temple, this shrine to Savras, they foresaw this barbarian attack, and so they went 5 miles north to Connieberry to warn the people. Some of them evacuated with their gold. They took a lot of the gold that was in that town at the time.
Mhm.
And they left, and some of the people stayed behind and got slaughtered when the barbs hit the joint. The barbarians came
Gotcha.
out of the forest and decimated the town. So the priests helped them hide their gold in the belfry in this building as they got them back here for safekeeping. And they ditched the old iron bell and buried it back there in the the tower where you guys were digging it up.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do anything just yet. What I will do is I do have rope on me, and now that I am up here, I am going to the forged hole in the bell that holds it. I'll throw over the top of a rope over the top and
Throw
drop
a
it
rope
down.
over the beam that's supporting the bell. It easily holds your weight. You can climb up and down.
A knot onto it, and then I am going to take the rope
Yeah.
down
Mhm.
and just go and I want to discuss this with the party. So
Come on.
I'm going to throw the rope over, tie a solid
Mirren,
knot.
you
drop
see
it.
from down below, because of the pitch of the roof, you see Mirren disappear into the belfry. So you're now standing outside the shrine, and from where you're standing, there appears to be a hole in the wall you could just walk through to go in.
From where Willow and I are standing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we head in to look for.
Walk through the hole,
Walk through the hole. Yeah.
and you come into a room where it looks like 6 beds, moldy mattresses, shattered remains of a wood table. Looks like and a hearth on one wall, with a rusty cauldron hanging from a spit. It looks like you would guess it was just a housing for the guests of the shrine.
Oh, okay. Well, we do a quick investigation around here.
Yeah,
Flip
there's nothing
some
of value.
mattresses.
There's nothing of value.
Nothing of value. Okay.
Uh-uh.
All right.
There is a doorway
See if
to
there's
your
a way
east.
to-
There is a doorway into your east that leads into the main interior of the room, where the belfry is, where Mirren is coming down.
Okay.
You walk through the door,
Sure.
barely on its hinges, but the dwarf and the druid walk through to join you as you climb down the rope. Nars is coming inside the front doors to join you. He is quiet for now.
What did you find up there, Miriam? Did you see anything?
Did I see anything? I believe what I saw was a bell made of solid gold.
No, it was copper from what we could see over there. Or bronze, something to that effect.
This was clearly painted in disguise. I
told you his bell was better than ours.
You're right, Willow. Hey, it's gold.
And that gold may very well be the gold of legend.
You mean
You haven't really confirmed that the entire bell is gold, am I correct?
No, but yeah, I thought that
you didn't really. I was listening, and I don't remember you molesting the bell of any sort of any kind, except for a little slight tink with your dagger
ting,
blade.
but I did not get a response from that ting, I guess.
Right.
This is what I suspect, anyways. I do have obviously the rope that you see hanging here, that I can scale once again and examine a bit more.
okay?
Nars asks if he. Could I give it a try? Could I go up and take a look? Maybe I can get something with my tools.
Your hands are a little more versed in this than mine, so I do think that is.
Let me tell you, copper's still worth some money.
Well, I think that if this is the gold of the legend that we had heard, then it's possible.
It's kind of. I'm gonna meta just for a second. It's a little bit difficult for me to play Nars because I'm not sure. Nars is kind of going crazy right now, probably torn between the divination magic he can still feel coming from the southern room and this proposed
I think
virtual treasure.
I feel like he Oh, yeah, that's true. I think that actually
So I
he would
think-
be torn. He would be torn.
He's very torn, and since this is the first thing he encounters, this is the thing he will investigate first, and he wants to
Well-
climb the ladder. And I'm going to roll for him.
Okay.
Do so. Nars looks at the knots and sees that you've tied some butterfly loops into the rope for him to grab with his hands and put his feet in. So he doesn't have to roll very well on that to get up to the top. And he takes a look. He's up there. You guys are watching him from below. He calls down to you that he thinks. He calls down to you. I think I can get this unsecured. And he takes out the tinkerer's tools that he had used before. You'd seen him with these in Nomengard, and he magically causes them to become carpenter's tools. And so he has a wrench and like a big steel plier thing, and he goes to work.
Is he trying to loosen the bell?
He can see that how the hardware works and what it takes to undo it, and he calls down to you. Does anybody have another rope?
Yes, I have one, lad.
Could you toss it up to me?
Yeah, I throw it up.
He catches it.
Okay.
Mirren throws the end of the rope over the main support and ties a knot through the eye of the bell.
Yeah, I thought that I had done that with the rope that he climbed up on, so he'll probably just have to retie that.
So, without going into too much a boring technical detail, Nars fixes all of the rigging to where he has a ladder that's independently supported, and he's safety tied off, and he has the other rope. He has the other rope tied to the bell, and it's looped around the support, and it's coming back down to you guys. He asks you if you three can take weight on the bell.
we'll need Thardan's weight on this most.
Yeah.
We don't have too much weight behind us.
How much does Thardan weigh?
How much does Thardan weigh? He weighs
About 250, something like that. With his armor on, he's real heavy, and he can easily take the
he's
weight just
250.
from his armor weight. And he's your
I'm half that weight.
he's
need
your
a-
strong dwarf guy. So
Do you need a strength check?
no, not at all. This bell isn't actually as heavy as it looks. But Nars has been also when he's been waiting for you guys to do the things he needs you to have done. He has deduced that this bell is entirely made of solid gold.
Okay.
It's painted to be copper.
Yeah.
And his brain is on fire. And as he has you take weight, he removes the final fastening piece, and the bell is now free. You have it, and you slowly let it down to the ground, carefully and gently.
I let it down.
And then Nars unsafeties himself and climbs down the rope.
Well, have we determined that it's solid gold?
It's the good stuff.
So it is a legend then.
It is the legend. This is the legend. Nars has heard the legend his entire life, all of his childhood, and he can't believe this is happening. His brain has exploded.
We
kind of in
found
shock.
We
He
found
forgot.
the
He
treasure!
even forgot about his divination magic painting this altar to the south. You know what an alchemist does with 50 pounds of gold?
We found it!
I think
We're gonna be rich!
we are going to be rich, or does this does someone lay claim to the gold of this Is there a moral place that we could
You know
take
from
this?
legend that the owners of this gold were all slaughtered by barbarians long ago.
Then we'll take it.
Yes, it's the right thing to do.
Well, as
It's we could help Fandolin as well. with some of the portions of this money.
As I said before, that adventuring is costly, and
Yes.
you know.
Willow, we're rich.
Nars is in
Sorry?
shock.
We're rich.
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that?
We're rich.
We're rich, girl. I say,
Yes!
we're rich,
We
girl.
found treasure. They hit. They hit
Yay!
it.
You guys, you have never seen so much gold in one place before. If I miss my guess,
are we gonna
you wouldn't
need-
even
So
begin to
exactly
fathom
how
what it's
big
worth.
is this thing?
Right. How are we gonna transport it?
Yeah,
It
like
weighs about 50 pounds. It's bigger than
horses.
the bread box.
Horses. We have horses. You
Yeah.
guys, we have horses.
Let's think this
Okay.
through.
I can be a
Let's-
horse. I could be a horse. Oh my god. You guys, we
Yeah.
have horses. I could be a horse. Our options are unlimited.
That is true.
So did we see any
Carts?
carts
Yeah.
when we were looking around outside? Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. No wheels. No, nothing with a wheel. Okay.
50 pounds.
No, I think we could throw it on.
Could probably
A
on
horse?
one of the horses.
Yeah, we just throw it on a horse. But let's think this through. So we are going to return to Al, and Al is going to expect a cut from this. We are using his horses as a tool at this point. Is he going to be okay with that?
You don't need to tell Al about the bill if you don't want to.
We're going to walk back to Al with his horses. Are we not? We're closer to Phandalin at this point, right?
No, you're not close to Phandalin at all.
Oh no, we're north of the ranch, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're southwest of the ranch.
Southwest of the ranch, right? I'm sorry.
About 7
We're
miles or so.
north. We're north of Phandalin by.
You're
Do you think there's a way to
within
just
about
break
2
the
days
bell apart?
journey of Phandalin. You're down the Tribor Trail quite a way, 2 days east down the Tribor Trail from Phandalin.
I'm simply implying that we are not going to take his horses to Phandalin and then back to him.
No, it is understood. The party understands that
Yeah.
horses were just for this quest.
Just for this
over
quest
to-
alone.
And then you'll be returning to Big Al with the horses.
That's what
And
I'm saying.
He will have payment for you.
Okay.
And if you don't want to tell him about the gold, you don't need to.
Well, I want to stay on the
So
right moral compass.
what if we broke up the bell? What if we broke it into pieces? It'd be a lot easier to carry, right?
Nars would have something to say about
Nars
that
would
if you
have
weren't in
something to
such
say.
shock.
Yeah.
It may
He's
take.
still in shock.
It
And
may.
then he kind of snaps to it and looks towards the south and walks through the door towards the altar.
He would have to be somewhat engaged or drawn to this by now, right?
He's sort of forgotten about the bell for the moment.
That's
He's
what
in
I'm saying.
shock.
He's
He's standing in front of the altar, watching it glow.
Okay. I think Willow. It may take some quite time to cut the bell. We'd have to have a forge to do that.
Tharden, I think that Nars seems to be interested in something else at this time.
Yes. Maybe let's go
At
look.
this point, you see an ogre poke his head through the wall.
Oh shh.
At Nars or
No.
Nars has
in-
walked
At
into the
us.
other room. Nars has walked into the room to the south.
Sure.
You can see
Okay,
him
okay.
through the open door. He's standing in there staring at this altar.
I knew it.
it looks.
He's
as though
in
we have-
shock, and there's an ogre that's looking through the collapsed part of the wall at you. And everybody roll initiative.
Okay.
Knew this was coming. I said it. 16 with my bonus.
8.
17 for Thard.
This is just me on the fly, and I have to grab my handy dandy D&D Beyond encounter tracker.
Yeah, you do.
So where am I compared to where this thing is? Can I like take a few steps back because I haven't healed yet?
In the heat of battle.
I'm going to rule that. Hang on, I'll tell you that in a minute when I get back to this map. One thing at a time.
Tharden, Tharden thinks that he concurs with you that we should probably give Al something, but we also helped him out,
Yeah.
taking all those orcs out. So maybe
And he's gonna pay us afterwards. So
yeah. So
so-
I think we don't show, even though I am
I
trying
mean,
to
it
do
could-
the right thing as
it-
a paladin.
It's understood from the note
Yep.
that brought you out to Butterskull Ranch that Al would pay you for your
Hey,
service.
that's right,
if
that's
you
what I was
showed
gonna
up.
say.
Yeah.
He's got some money for you. He mentioned it last session. I don't know if we glanced past that, but
no,
he's
we
got
did not. You told us.
he's got a payment
told
for you
us,
guys.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think what we find is ours.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I think that sounds like the smartest thing the dwarf has said all day.
but I I don't mind giving him a little bit of money, maybe for the feed of his horses or something. But,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I just the spoils of our adventures or ours.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Because adventuring is costly.
Yes, that's right.
And you guys are aligned good. And there's no
Yes.
ethical qualm here in taking these dead townspeople's money to redistribute as you see fit.
Got it.
Just because I'm lawful good doesn't mean.
Lawful good is the
Nice.
best person to come upon a treasure.
Yep.
Right.
If you believe that we're aimed towards the basic good.
Yep.
Yes. If
Absolutely.
You want that treasure to fall into a lawful good hands,
and
Yeah,
not
you don't want
bad.
it to go to evil.
not a lawful
right.
evil hand.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or chaotic evil or neutral.
Any of those evils.
Any of them are bad news for that. That's a lot of treasure, y'all. And I'll tell you how much in just a little bit
Yep.
that it equates to in coin.
We've got an ogre in front of us.
Oh,
Did
I
you-
got
did-
sidetracked. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah.
And did you injure this one at all
I-
during the last combat?
Yeah, I did. I deal damage to each of them.
Each of them?
I don't.
Okay.
I did not keep track of which one I did what damage to, though.
Right. Correct.
It was
I mean,
in the
although-
heat. In
This
the heat
is
of
the
the battle.
one
I was
that
just scared.
wandered off a little while ago, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, Willow has it correct. This one had been told to go stand guard down at the southern portion of the complex, and that's what it did.
Yeah. He could.
They're not very bright.
Right.
And he had been told by Nars himself, the little ogre form, or the orc form of Nars.
He could.
Oh gosh, let me grab Nars's character sheet and I'll play him.
He could have. I mean, it's been long enough that ogre might have healed up a little bit too
Um,
on a short rest or something.
that ogre had never taken any damage,
Oh, okay.
so he's at full health.
He didn't. I didn't.
Nope. You killed the other one.
I know I killed the other one, but I thought that I had hit one and then switched over to another.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see how many hit points he's lost.
I think because I believe that
Like
Gonna be
I
negative
could've
8
sworn
for
that
that part.
other one had been attacked.
there was one
I
on
don't,
each.
well, I don't remember that, but you could be right.
There was one on each side of the wall.
Right.
Yeah, they were on opposite
And
sides of the
whenever
wall.
whenever
and we
I
were
hopped
getting.
up on the wall and I switched over, the other one couldn't access me, and I switched over to fighting the other one. I just
Mhm.
don't. Like I said, I just don't remember which was which.
I think I do, and we're gonna go with this. We're gonna say I'm gonna be generous and say that he's 8 hit points down already.
Sure. That's
And let's hear those
No,
initiatives one more time.
that's pretty accurate with what I would have done with one hit.
Tharden got a 17 on initiative.
Everybody,
Yeah, I think he said everybody.
16, and then 8, I believe. Willow.
Yep. 8.
So 17, 16, 8.
And then
and
Nars.
whatever Nars rolls.
Nars rolled low.
Okay.
But he had a +3, so he rolled an 8. And the orc will go last in the turn order.
The ogre.
Ogre, excuse me.
Orker.
And we'll start this combat. So, you're facing down an ogre. You guys are in a room that is about 30 by 30, maybe 35 by 35.
Mm,
35 by 45. And he has stuck his head through the northern wall, and we'll say you guys are right under the belfry. So he's within 30 feet of you. Tharden, what do you do?
Okay, I charge at him.
Uh-huh.
Do I have to go through the hole in the wall to get to
No.
him? No. Okay.
He's sort of standing in the gap in the wall. So
Okay.
so he's surrounded by a stone wall,
All right.
and a shooting star goes overhead. So your movement in that armor was what?
My movement.
25
is
feet?
25.
Yeah, you got to him, and he's within range of your melee attack,
Okay.
standing in the northwest corner.
A 21 with my longsword.
That does hit him.
He takes 6 points of damage.
Your axe, you cut with your axe, lad, and hit him in sort of a hole that he had already had from, looks like an arrow may have struck him. You can't quite tell, but he already had a wound in his arm, and you sort of like fester your axe, your longsword into that spot, and
Okay.
he howls out in pain.
All right. And I don't have a bonus action because I used a lot of abilities last combat, so I am done. I've raised my shield
Okay.
to protect myself.
Mirren, you're next.
I have unsheathed both of my daggers, wielding one in each hand. And how far away am I from this ogre?
You were standing around in a circle with
Oh, okay.
your brother, so that same distance, about 25, 30 feet.
Oh, okay.
20
Yeah. Well, then I'll just use
25.
movement to move up, and then just take two weapon, two action or two attack, two weapon fighting.
Huh.
Dagger slashing left and right if possible.
Sure.
Oh goodness, not great rolls. Well, one great roll. So 25,
Yeah, that
And-
definitely hits the ogre.
and then a 9.
That misses the ogre.
Okay,
So
The,
he moved
the-
his arm. He moved out of the way of that one.
So the primary one was the first one.
Sure.
Um,
Roll that damage.
and that would be a 8 with modifier.
Gah! He cries out in pain as you stick him with your dagger. It goes in to his midsection and comes through, cutting him.
His snarl sounds familiar.
He moved his arm out of the other range of your other one, but you hit him one time. But it is an ogre, by the way, and you guys are definitely crowding him into this wall
Oh yeah.
here. So doesn't look like our next contestant has a good shot at him. So he's going to hold his firebolt until such time as he sees the ogre and thinks he can
Yeah.
hit safely without hitting one
So
of you guys.
we're kind of like crescent surrounding him.
He's coming through the corner of the room,
Mhm.
and you guys are coming at either direction at him and just kind of blocking everybody else's view.
Mhm.
But there, being said, that being your turn, you can't really move and expose him, or else you'll open yourself up.
No, I wasn't planning on it.
Is the ogre
So
much,
that
the
what?
ogre's much taller than us, correct?
yes, it's big, it's a big boy, and
He
he is
technically
mad
could shoot
because you
o-
killed his life
He
mate.
could probably shoot his fire over my head. I'd
What?
imagine.
Oh, he can't see him though because
Okay.
of the crumbling walls.
Gotcha.
Willow,
But
your
he's-
turn.
Okay.
Willow, what you gonna do?
Where am I exactly? What's my visual on him?
You are standing underneath the belfry near the gold bell on the floor. You were in the same kind of spot as your friend started off from, about 30 feet away. We'll say 35 because you're on the other side of that bell. And
Okay.
you cannot see the ogre at this point, but you know he's
Can-
there because your
Can
friends are
I
guiding him.
can I move one way or the other? Like I don't have a visual right now, but can I move
You
one
can
way
move.
or the
You can
other
use your movement to go anywhere in the
Yeah.
room, or you can go into any other room, or you could probably. No, you can't reach the front door. You can go through 3 doors.
I would like to step out just enough so I have a visual of the guy,
Don't you
if
need to
that's
heal
possible.
up if you're gonna fight an ogre? Did you
Well,
ever
if
heal up?
I haven't.
You could also. I'm not gonna tell you how to play. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's a
Do
good
you-
idea. If
You make your move.
if
You have
I'm
a few seconds to make a move.
if I'm still hidden, oh,
You're hidden.
Wait.
The ogre can't see you with
oh,
its
cool.
eyes.
I can use this. I can use this as a bonus action, so I can go ahead and do this. Hold on.
Okay.
I am going to step left, right, however I have to move just to get him just within visual,
Mhm.
and I want to cast Guiding Bolt. Does a 18 hit?
Yes.
All right. With a 5, 6, and a 2.
What's
So
the total?
18. 18, and I would like to cast Balm of the Summer Court on myself as a bonus action,
Ooh.
and
What does that do?
recover. It as a bonus action by spending dice from the pool, you can restore HP to one creature you can see within 120 feet.
Nice.
It also gains 1 temp HP per dice spent.
Sweet.
Great.
Okay. Very
Love it.
good. So
Rolled a 4
She-
on that one.
she stealthily crouches down and maneuvers herself in between the pillars to where she can just get a glimpse of that ogre's body through the two who are engaged with it, and shoots a radiant, coherent beam of light from her hand into the ogre's eyeball and blinds him.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
And is now bleeding from the ear as well. He's just gotten a dose of this radiation into his eye, as if hit by a laser beam, a blaster gun of sorts. And
Poor guy's having a bad day.
you saw the coherent light radiating out of his ear like a bloom on either side, like it was lighting up his brain and his eyes. And he's dazed after that. But he is an ogre, so he's still up.
Mhm.
All right, fellas.
Did you turn
Bill's
there?
Turn. Yup.
And it is actually his ogre's. It's the ogreness, his turn. It brings us to the ogre, and
All right, ogre fella, your turn.
he is gonna use his turn. He's a little bit stunned, and he's not quite sure what just hit him. And then he gets really mad and is gonna try to burst through the crumbling stonework at you. And he does, and he breaks through into the room with you. Coming past the pillar, he's now on the other side of the party. Not left your range of attack for melee yet, but he'll have to end his turn there with that as his action. Unless he can do like something super cool bonus action. I don't think he can. No, he can't. He's just a stupid ogre.
Yeah, he is.
That brings us back to the top of the round.
All right. Thardan's gonna move in closer to him to attack.
Thardan's going to turn around and attack the ogre with your longsword.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll for that.
I'm aiming
striking
low
him in
at
the
his-
back,
Yep. I'm aiming low at him.
and I'm gonna. Nah, you're not flanked.
Okay.
You're not flanked. That's not how it would line up with the rules. So you go ahead and roll for that attack.
All right. Does a 16 hit him?
Yes, it does.
Okay, he takes 11 points of damage.
The dwarf takes a shot at the ogre with his long sword and brings it down on his back, slicing him down the spine. And you see a lot of ogre blood spurt all over the dirt. And
Come
he
on it in!
cries out in pain at that. The ogre is bloodied, and it's sticking to bits of him and starting to coagulate on his face. Mirren, you're up.
As this is becoming a defining move of mine, I'm going for a somersault jumping double slash over, if possible. I do. What's the height of an ogre? I actually don't know.
You're only 15 feet away from the rope that's hanging down from the support beam.
It would.
And
burn
you
up-
are. The spatial question is you're sort of in between a pillar and the wall where it was craved in that he came in. And so you are
Okay.
also facing that other way. So your first reaction would be automatically to turn around and face the action. You're
Yeah.
looking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, I wouldn't be like staring at the wall. So as I turn around and attack the clear present danger,
You see this messy ogre with a sword wound down
is
his
he nearby the
spinal
wall?
area.
Is he nearby the wall?
He's in the middle. He's in the middle of the columns on the colonnade on either side of him.
Okay, gotcha.
He
Actually,
is,
yeah,
he's facing the other way and looking
yeah,
bloody.
And I think that I know I'm probably just gonna move up to him and really just go for kind of like maybe just like a downward jumping stab or something with both daggers that I have, but staying on this side.
Stabbing him in the back, as it were.
Stabbing him in the back.
E2 Brute.
Yeah, well, he's an ogre. My morals are lowered.
It is more like fighting a beast
Again,
than.
same rolls. I got a oh goodness, that is a 22.
Uh-huh.
And then a 9. I imagine the 9 does not hit.
Roll for the 22. Roll damage for the 22.
That is this die, which will be a 8 again. So I guess as I'm stabbing down, one of them just is shy of him, and I just swing past and
Listen,
still grab
that was an 8 you rolled.
Yeah. Oh, we
Yeah.
lost Kiki.
Yeah. Well, I'll just put it this way. That 8 hit points was his last 8 hit points. So you would kill him in a way you would kill an ailing creature with a dagger. Whether that be merciful or cruel, any way you kill him with a dagger is the way he dies. You've rolled the damage to take him out.
Got it. So yeah, and I think that maybe I would just take that one that did hit and just kind of give it a little bit of a rake as a final blow. Just a
Yes,
little.
and it drops to his knees
bit of
with you
angle.
on its back.
Yep.
And your foot on its neck, your knee on its shoulder. You do this thing in with a dagger, letting out its last bit of life, and it is dead.
And as I do that, I also walk up to it, and I believe that I did hit it with one arrow. So I want to see if I can retrieve said stuck arrow out of.
Yeah. You find your arrow embedded in it.
Pull that out. All right.
There's waves for some reason. Sorry, guys.
There's water in somewhere around here, right?
There's water in the troughs for the horses outside.
Right.
They're drinking.
They're drinking
noisily
right
on the
now.
other side of the wall.
Yeah.
The horses are hella thirsty.
Horses are hella thirsty. Yeah, so I recover my arrow out of the ogre's body and and look back at the party.
And by this time, Nars has kind of come to, and he mentions to you again of the magic on the other side of the room, and his shaken condition can't bring himself to interact with said magic.
Willow,
Like, I've got to play him. I've just got to play him. I got to do what he would do. He turns and walks into the church. The altar room, and walks up to this altar with an eye carved into it. Stone pillars brace
I'll
the
follow
vaulted
him.
ceiling of the temple, the floor of which is buried under a thick layer of dust. Also covered in the dust are 4 humanoid skeletons tattered in priestly vestments, lying over near the said altar up on the dais, situated in an alcove under 4 narrow windows. And Nars walks over to the altar and places his hands on it, and he receives a vision, which he will relay to you later. But as it goes, he floats up out of his body, looks down, can see the 3 of you, flies up through the church's rooftop and quite high in the sky, actually, to where the people look like ants, and he starts to float due south. And as he travels over the land, he can see the horizon line, and it's beautiful, and he can see the Sword Mountains and how far they stretch, and he can see all the depth of how big Neverwinter Wood really is, and he is floating towards the swords. As he gets to their peak, he can see due south of where you are, there is a fortress built into the side of one of these peaks. It is snowing, and there is a large roof on top of the fortress where there is a white dragon sleeping, and its white scales glisten in the sun like pure driven snow. Nars comes to his senses and tells you all about what he had just seen.
So you saw the dragon?
He nods affirmation.
But you actually saw it? Like you saw it? Like, are you
Saw
sure
it
that
plain
you
as day.
really
As
saw
sure
it?
as you're standing in front of me, I saw a dragon sleeping on this fortress rooftop.
I think the.
I floated due
Did you go
south.
pet it?
and could you lead us again to this dragon if you had on foot?
Was your vision vivid enough to gather accurate directions to this
Speaking
location?
of the DM, I'm gonna say Nars is a pretty intelligent guy. Like that's his big number, if you will.
Right. Mhm.
Yep.
Nars knows enough about geometry to be able to estimate how far he floated on a map.
Mhm.
So you could actually go to this place. He's seen that much detail in his vision. It's
Wow.
basically just like a view of a helicopter ride through over the foothills that lead to the Sword Mountains. And throw that map up, could you?
Yeah.
So if you had to lead us there, you would know how. In
The ranger pulls out his map and unrolls it on the altar. And Nars points. See that fork in the trail in the very top of the map that goes into Neverwinter Wood? We're about 1.5 hexes south of there. The vision led me in a straight southerly route over those foothills and into the Sword Mountain range. I know how to get. I would know this place. This map will lead us here, but we are not powerful enough to fight this dragon yet.
Aye.
We are nowhere near powerful enough to fight this dragon on our own, friends. We'll have to try to recruit some help or polish our own skills.
Well, recruiting help worked last time. But I feel like an army would take a really long time to train me.
I think at some point in time, we'll all be ready to fight it. But yes, maybe we need to hone our skills a little better.
I think that.
Does anybody else want to do anything at this point? We're standing in this altar room, contemplating the vision that Nars has received from this altar. What would we like to do next?
I'd like to investigate the skeletal bodies.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we do it together.
Sounds good. Team effort.
All right. Team.
I'm probably gonna climb up to the top of the belfry and retrieve my rope. While they do that,
Oh yeah. Can you get mine while you're up there too, lad?
it came down with
Oh, that's right.
with the bell, so yours is
Yep.
probably down here. I'm just gonna
Did
go
come
up,
down with the bell. He just sent
Yeah,
the
I'm
tail
gonna-
end of the rope over
I'm
the
gonna
beam.
climb up, and then untie that knot, and then I'll hop back down through the walls.
Did we find anything around the altar
Um,
or on the priestly
Roll me a
bodies?
perception check to check that area out.
Willow, you're with me, so let's roll it together.
Yeah, both of y'all can roll check for that. See what you get.
Help.
Or you could use the help action.
The help action.
Yeah.
You could do one roll, and the cleric druid might use a help action.
Willow, what's your plus on perception? Do you have a higher
have-
perception than me? I think you do.
I do have pretty good perception.
All right, so I'll assist you then, I guess.
Roll with advantage, I believe, is how that works.
Roll with
Sick.
advantage.
So roll it with advantage. Okay.
Because I only have a +1, so I'll assist you.
That was a 14.
You look near the area where these priests.
Wait, that was perception.
Yeah.
Perception.
So 14 plus 4, that's 18. Sorry.
Whoa.
Does my +1 get added into that, or is it just that gives her advantage?
She is perceptive enough
Take
to
advantage.
know.
Okay.
She is perceptive enough to see that the altar doesn't quite touch the floor
Huh.
where these bodies are lying, but the bodies themselves just look like long dead human remains, torn up skeletal remains.
Like it's not on the floor, like it's levitating, or like it's suspended in the wall?
Well, if you bend down and take a look at it, you'll see that it has rollers built into it.
Cool. So rollers. So it moves. So theoretically, we could put the bell on it and roll that sucker out of here.
Yeah.
There are these old stone rollers that work well for this altar on this
On
stonework
this
floor,
floor.
but wouldn't be a great means of conveyance for 50 pounds of metal,
Yeah.
precious metal.
Especially going a few miles.
I think our plan is good so far.
I'll tell you, this
I
bell
tried.
is only 50 pounds, and you have beasts of burden, so you could just strap the bell on the horse with one of you.
Yeah.
The moving the bell is not an issue.
Okay, so, I guess.
You'll have to get creative once you drop the horses, but you have a long time to fucking plan on.
Well, hell, I can be a horse at that point.
Right. Yeah. Would a.
Anyway, so does that mean this thing moves? I think it moves.
Willow says casually as she leans on the altar, and it does, in fact, move to the south. And she begins to push it, and it moves for 3 feet to the south, revealing an unlocked wooden coffer tucked inside a 1 foot square cavity in the floor.
Ooh. You getting any vibes from that, Nars?
No, Nars is not detecting any magic.
All right. Does it look like I can lift it out?
It does. It's a small box.
Cool, cool. I will carefully lift it out and set it where the others can see it also.
You show the others.
I found a
open it?
box. Oh yeah, I open it.
You open it up, and it contains what looks to be about 57 gold piece and a key. The key
What?
has
I found
the key
gold.
has a question mark worked into its little. You know what a key looks like. It's got the handle part and it's got a question mark worked into it.
Yeah. Did you guys see a place that required a key in here? Like
You
a
didn't.
lock?
There's no these
Okay.
these. This is a ruin. There's no locked doors here. But you did see doorways you didn't go in.
Huh.
Willow, check that
Mhm.
box. Maybe there's a false bottom or something on the underneath the box.
That's not a bad
There's
idea.
no false bottom. There's
No
nothing
false
else. This is the treasure.
I'm actually. I was walking. I did the whole jump from the roof back across over to the wall. You know, I was taking that path.
Yes.
So I have to come back in through the front. As I'm coming in, there was rooms that we had not actually went into in this church yet.
Correct.
Well, guys, there's a key in here with a question mark on it.
Well, and just this building or this church is like kind of like a cross in a sense, right? Like it's
Yes.
And we've just kind of been working in these the middle rooms.
You have seen the western room that is the
Yeah.
western
North.
lug cross, and you've seen both rooms in the north-south access.
So there's one room to the east that we have not yet entered.
This is the one that you noticed had part of the wall caved in. So you glimpsed in it when you were on the roof, but you
Okay,
can
yeah.
see the
I
in
did
there.
not. I did not look down there. No. But I would actually maybe as I'm walking in, maybe just because I didn't hear any of the conversation, but I would just look and point over towards
Mhm.
this door.
Yeah.
At the party.
And it's just hanging on its hinges. You can see that it's empty, and you want to look in there?
Yeah. I walk up. Darren walks in and kicks the door open. Off the hinge.
Yeah, it clatters to the floor, and you can see what once was a priest seer's sanctuary. But it just sort of looks like the furnishings that are tattered and destroyed all over the place were kind of a little bit nicer for men of the cloth, but it's been pretty decimated in here for a long time. It's basically an empty room, long since deserted.
But
Any
there's-
exits out of it?
There's a hole in the wall to the north, and there's a hearth, a sooty hearth, and there's a doorway that leads back into the room where the belfry was, the main hall.
I walk in and I just just evaluating the room. I'd walk up to the hearth and maybe just kind of like feel around on it.
There's been fires burned in here recently, but you find nothing of interest there.
Okay, and fires burnt long ago, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the orcs were kind of camping out in here too, so they
Okay.
were using hearths.
Okay,
It's been lived in by orcs. It's kind of disgusting.
and then just a general perception check of the room is all I'm really looking for.
It's an empty room.
Sure. Well, then I would probably just walk out of the broken area of this space, and then there's really nothing. At this point, I feel like I feel like as somebody who spends a lot of time outside, I feel like I've had eyes on a lot of this stuff here. I feel like we've examined nearly everything, and at this point I would have known if there's something that we did not look at.
The DM at this point would like to commend the party for successfully uncovering every little nook and cranny of the Shrine of Savris.
Yes.
Well done, lads and ladies.
We
Good job, guys.
we
That's
have
great.
explored.
Yeah.
So you're standing in this empty room where you've just killed a gross ogre and he's bled everywhere. Some of his blood got on the gold bell you guys have. And I'll just metagame for 1 second. The bell is worth 2,500 gold piece.
Wow.
Because we'd probably see this in value.
You might be able to estimate this. I wasn't sure about how to play that, but
There's no
I mean,
way. There's no way.
you wouldn't be able. You probably would not be able to estimate it, seeing as
A
how you've
number.
never seen this much money in one place.
But
Probably.
we would see the gold and the weight, and probably, if I were to guess, who would know the most about this, it'd probably be Nars.
Nars would have.
the most value assumption.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 'cause he's
Nars
an
tells you
alchemist.
he's gonna say high end about 3,000 gold.
Yeah. So I would relay my suggestions of loading up the bell on the horses and returning back to Al.
Yes,
Um,
you ride into Al's.
I'm before we leave. I would actually am on the way out. I'm walking out and just like pulling out arrows from orcs.
Yeah. Before. Sorry.
Likely not all of them are retrievable because there were a couple of like tumbles after a few of them. So
Do you want to roll a d6 to see how many arrows you
That-
did not recover?
that would be accurate. And
Oh my!
Yeah.
Usually a 6 is good.
I know.
All right.
Before we leave, since we're here, he's retrieving arrows. I want to look around one more time to see if there's anything that key might fit into.
There's no locks on the premises that still are working locks, but it is a pretty cool little piece of treasure. I could tell you more about it, maybe, if you want.
Okay.
if if they
did-
yeah, go
Did
ahead.
Nars?
No, maybe I'll just save that.
Okay.
Nars might have to do that. Nars
Nars might-
might have
okay.
to tell you all about what the key does.
All right.
He would be interested in doing that, I think. So we'll
All right.
he reaches out his hand eagerly and asks if he can see it. And he puts
Yep.
on his spectacles and looks at it very closely and determines that it is, in fact, magic.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, the key itself is magic.
Yes, the key is magical.
Wow. Okay.
Um. Oh,
We keep blinking in and out with our attendance. We're at 9:26 right now, folks, and we can forage ahead if y'all want. Or I don't know where she went. She probably I saw her disconnect a few times, and maybe
Yeah.
she'll come back in. Let's just continue going if you want, or we can call it
Yeah.
here if you want.
yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna just do some image repair real quick. But I can play out.
Yeah, we're definitely
You
gonna.
want to take a break?
Yeah,
Yeah,
while
we
we
can
take a
break.
break.
Let's take a break and come back and see where we're at 10 o'clock. Let's
All right.
Let's take like a 5 or 10, and then come back and play a few more
Okay.
rounds.
Sure.
And we're back. When we left off, we had defeated all foes and found all items of value. And we are left with 4 adventurers in a courtyard, standing outside the church with their horses tied to these posts and drinking from troughs. The horses have been grazing and drinking, and they're well rested. And it's dark. What do you do?
I think we should take a little rest here. Maybe have a little light dinner.
Sure, I believe that I have a little bit more in me to maybe fetch us some game to hunt or to cook for the eve, and in the meantime, possibly you two could start us a proper fire and set up camp.
Yes, we'll do that, lad. It at least we'll, we could pick a corner here in the shrine where we'll be out of the elements.
And the wind is beginning to pick up as it does get dark.
Actually, there's a fireplace with a hearth here.
Yeah, maybe
There are several hearths inside. You could spend the night in the building.
We just camp out in the priest quarters. Because that's where there was a hearth in that space right in there.
Sure was.
Sure.
So yeah, you camped in the western or the easternmost room of the
room.
complex,
Yeah.
and it is like camping because some of the wall has been destroyed. So it's kind of like you're still outside and camping,
Yeah.
but you have a hearth, and
I would after
there's plenty of fuel to burn, if you know what I mean.
right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I would probably go and do some hunting outside of the walls of the courtyard.
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking at pasture outside the shrine. There's
Okay.
pasture stretching out in all directions.
Yeah, and it's dark at this point, so this is more of like a night hunt for me.
You're going on a night hunt, which you've done many times in your
Many
life.
times,
and
yeah.
You'll
I
find
don't-
some typical
yeah.
game, I would imagine. You have that feature as an Outlander.
Yes, I do.
And there's this area is well stocked with small game, and
Okay, so yeah, I would just
you
grab-
easily find a meal.
Enough
And
for us.
as you go out to do that, you split the party and leave Tharden there to get the fire going.
Yeah.
Yep. Tharden makes his way around looking for scrap wood, anything he can get going get the fire going.
And Nars has he's off with his spectacles on, like looking at something. He's tinkering with things over by candlelight somewhere
I
else
imagine.
in the building. He's tinkering. He's doing his tinkering with his things, and sort of keeping to himself. And the druid also would have gone out as part of the food search party.
Okay.
Darden goes to the horses and he goes into the saddlebag and he pulls out a pot for cooking, or a pan to bring back to put onto the fire after the fire is lit, to get a pot ready.
You did find a cauldron already on one of the hearths in there. I think it was the
Oh,
one on
we
the
did.
opposite
We
side, so
did.
you could just go grab that. And it looks to be it has been in recent use. That was something that works for doing or whatever.
I don't know.
It's not from the ancient times. It's
Right.
not from century ago or whatever.
Really
It's
want to
modern
eat off
and
of-
it's been used recently. And
Do we want to eat off of orcs?
I don't think. I
you
don't
take
think
some of the
Darden would
water.
want to.
You can take some of the water they'd
Oh,
fetch.
no.
You can take some of the water they'd fetch and
All right.
wash the orc off as best you can.
I'll wash it.
Cauterize it with the fire.
Yeah, I actually stick it in the trough, and I start scrubbing it off. If we're gonna eat off of orcs, we might as well eat from the horses as well.
Right.
clean,
Perfect.
clean up the pot.
Right.
As you guys come back, I assume Marin's come back.
Mhm.
You begin to discuss the events of the day and a plan. I wanted to do this with just you guys because you're the two logistical minds I fathom of what our party brings to the table. And how are you going to get this 50-pound valuable piece of metal transported once you lose the horse?
As we had spoken with Willow prior, she'd mentioned that she could transform into a beast of some sort to aid in this carry. I feel capable in fashioning some sort of harness or something to affix it. However, it is quite a long travel. We would be traveling from the ranch, Al's ranch, down to Phandalin, and that was at least a 2.5 day travel.
It's about a 2-day travel if you're
Yeah.
under good conditions along the trail, and there are risks involved. You could run into bandits
However, I
or
wonder
other
if
things. Bandits are well-known
if
attackers on the Tribor.
would it be possible to contract Al, as he does work with Phandalin, to transport it or something.
Or could we maybe convince Al to that we'd pay him for one horse
Mm-hmm.
to
Al's already
Phandalin?
expressed that he
Oh,
cannot
he
afford
needs all of them.
to lose a horse.
He's
But
spoken
maybe-
many times of his.
He cannot
Yes.
afford to lose another
Yeah.
horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe to Phandalin and back.
Mm.
We'd bring
Oh
the horse
yes,
back.
yeah.
Not that we'd keep it.
I think that he felt that he was stretching in letting us use the horses for this
Okay.
time, but also he may find it in his schedule to transport it if he was coming to Phandalin, possibly for goods or something. I thought that he had some relations with the town in one form or fashion. Or
You look upon the bill,
Hmm.
and a 50-pound gold bill. How big is that?
oh yeah. If it's that small, yeah. I think it might even be
It's
something.
about the width of my video window here,
Yeah. So
in front of my head. So
at that rate, I yeah.
it's not this gargantuan lump of gold. I mean, it is a gargantuan lump of gold, but relatively,
in fantasy, I kind of like.
you're looking at it bigger than it really
We
is.
saw this thing, and then it just like kind of like went ring.
In actuality, have you ever seen the Liberty Bell? I'm sorry to take
Yeah.
it out of character. It's like that.
The
You know,
size
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
The Liberty Bell is literally.
Okay.
It's bigger than the Liberty Bell, but it's not by much, and it's heavy. But it's something that you feel like you could manage.
Yeah,
under-
carrying. I think I will. Yeah, or at least Tharden.
Get a big
Carry it.
sack and let Tharden carry it
Yeah,
out over
I
his
guess I
shoulder.
could
And
carry
I
it.
think that that's probably all you should, and definitely put it in a sack. Is
Yeah, we
Dean's
gotta hide it.
recommendation.
We would
Yeah.
probably hide it. Yeah, because this isn't something that we're looking to spread the rumor about this.
Yep.
It's probably local folklore. They may not even think that it exists. So the more that we keep it under radar, until we get to Phandalin and can barter something, either in exchange or have it smelted, then we would make that choice then.
At that point, Nars would tell you about the miners' exchange in Phandalin, which
Yeah.
deals exactly in gold finds that have mined from the wilderness,
From
and
the-
miners bring them to the miners' exchange and
And
are
there
able
was-
to exchange them. So, go ahead.
Well, there was a gold mine that was near Phandalin, correct?
One of the quests that you have
Yes, yeah. I
been
recall
given leave is at a gold mine
at a gold mine near
near
Phandalin.
Phandalin.
Yes.
Yep.
So, rightfully so, there would be some sort of gold refinement that could
Let's
happen.
talk about that for a second.
Sure.
In that quest, you might never mind. That quest includes a component where you need to escort somebody from Phandalin to the mine.
I see.
That's the mission. You can't hit it on the way back.
And we would
Neither can you hit the other one on the way back.
Yeah,
because that's also a delivery.
It was a delivery. Yeah.
Mhm. You'll have to return to Phandalin to complete any of your other quests. You have no other choice.
And either one of us would have recalled that, or did we actually have those
Nars would
physical
know.
notes?
No, you've got that in the instruction book.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
It's in the
I'm saying like those notes that we got.
yeah.
That were about the tasks around. Were those like those? I thought those were like post-ups.
They were
Okay.
posted, and you unposted them, and you have them in
Yeah.
your possession. You can
Okay,
read them.
that's what I was
Like,
asking. Yeah,
Yeah.
we actually took them.
You have the info.
Okay, I didn't know
Mhm.
if we took them or if
You
we
have
left
them.
them. Okay.
You've been hired for the job, basically.
So, yeah, we
Understood. So you took the jobs
Yeah,
down.
we would have
You have them.
evaluated that, and went over the notes and probably established at this point that we need to return to Al. To return his horses, and
Get
then
our payment.
get our payment
Al.
from
Yep.
Al for taking care of the orcs, and then I imagine that we probably do would we have questions for them for Al? I mean,
No.
I
Al
don't-
will have a lot of questions for you when you get back to him.
That's what I
I
was
want to
gonna
know
say, is,
exactly
like,
what went down. You'll need to debrief
well,
Al.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
We
say.
can
is
role play
probably-
that if you want, but we don't have to.
Yeah.
Um,
we can or we can wait for the group. I mean.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I didn't know what part we wanted to wait for everybody. But like
We can just make a plan right now.
Yeah.
Return to Al, drop the horses,
Mhm.
tell him all that we care to.
Yep.
And then hightail it back east.
Yeah, which is
West.
which
West.
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 Yes.
We are
yeah,
out
south,
east right now.
southwest, west, right?
You would want to just head back down the Triber Trail
Yeah.
Yeah.
until
leads to Phandalin.
until you reach the crossroad where you turn south
The
to
south of
Phandalin.
Phandalin,
And that is
yeah.
the safest, easiest way to go.
Yeah.
So you'll return to Al's ranch with the horses.
At this
And
point,
then-
I've already became probably very comfortable with the lay of the land, at least from
Yeah.
between at this point between the ranch, Phandalin, and Neverwinter, like that triangle.
Mhm.
I should probably know everything within that area at this point in my travels.
I mean, I'm from Neverwinter, so I know Neverwinter.
Well,
And
so,
you also
yeah.
know parts of Neverwinter Wood, and that's
I do.
something I need to get into with you.
Mhm.
To what extent do you know Neverwinter Wood, and what portions of it are you familiar with?
It probably would have been if you could draw like a horizontal line across the ranch.
Can we pull the map up?
Yeah,
oh, there we
pull-
go.
yeah,
Two
He's
minds
on
think,
it.
Yeah,
think alike.
and then let me move up a little bit. Kind of keep. I need to reduce the size. Neverwinter. There we go. Neverwinter being up there, the fork into Neverwinter.
Can you
Wood.
show us a pointer on that map, perhaps?
You
Any
know
way
what?
possible?
I can't for some reason.
Haha.
I can on your faces, but not on this.
Ah,
Working on it.
okay.
Tech.
All right.
Tech.
So we're right around.
There we go.
That's a better view.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
We're right around that fork that goes into the wood.
Yeah, and
What part of the wood do you come from?
it was actually pretty close to Phandalin. Now that I was thinking about it, I think that I probably would have had some exchange in Phandalin.
Yeah, you would be familiar with Phandalin hailing from so close. I mean,
Yes.
that's probably one of the ways that the courier found you in the first place, because you were close by. It's
was.
easier to find the heroes in a closer radius than it is farther away. So you're
Sure,
one of the first ones
local
that probably got
hero.
approached. Mhm. And they made it to Neverwinter, obviously, because they came across Thardan.
Yep. So and then I probably, like I said, if I was putting into perspective my me being a wanderer and ranger and with my past, I think that I would probably know most of the lay of the land between the ranch, Neverwinter, and Phandalin. At least in that
You probably
triangle.
know the high road. I mean, as far south as Waterdeep, if not farther, and as far
Possible.
north as Luskin. You probably have traveled up and down this highway.
Yeah. The high road's a busy road.
So
Yeah.
and I think that one of the other things I was trying to get with that is that if there were points of interest or if there was any gain from having that knowledge, I'd probably benefit from that. And then possibly, and like I said, Thardan too, because of Neverwinter and traveling with us. Like we've made this whole kind of journey at this point. You may have not have been in the woods like me. I don't know.
Have
no, I
you
was
ever
more-
been to? You
I'm a city boy.
ever been to?
I was,
You ever been to Tribor?
Thardan.
Thardan has
Scarcely-
stayed close to
scarcely went to-
home
yeah.
and been garrisoned in
Yep.
defending Neverwinter.
Correct.
Yeah, and
He's been on the high road, but he's never been into
never been
Tribal
out
or-
into rough country out east like this.
Right.
He's stayed near most of the coast his entire life.
The low road.
Yep. He's defended against orcs and goblins.
The other one I think is the old road, the really long one. This is the high road, and there's one called the long road. It's
long road.
really-
Yeah.
It's really far south
You-
from where
if
we're
you can
looking at.
see where we are at the fork,
Yeah.
we've got once we get to Al's and we give him what's his.
I know. We still
Then we have a long way to go.
It's still
You could
like
actually
two
ride
days.
to Al's tonight after you've rested a little bit. You could
That's what I
ride
was
back
thinking,
to
that
Al's
should be one
tonight and
day.
spend the night at his place, and it's relatively
Right.
safe there now because
Right.
we already killed all the evil that was surrounding that.
Right.
That's a good idea.
I
Um,
think, yeah, you're resting right now with a fire. You're having dinner. It's dusk. I mean, it's dark by now. The sun
We've
has gone
developed
down, but
this
it's
loose
still early
plan.
in the evening.
Yep.
And so we can decide as a group, since we're the group right now, that we're going to take the party back to Al's ranch and
So
take
we're
a
doing
long
sh-
rest there. And
short rest right now.
Okay.
short rest right now, a long rest back at Al's, and then we'll come back as we leave Al's and head back to Phandalin. But I just have to do something really fast.
Sure.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. Well, I won't get to this till
Should
next
we
time.
hold? Yeah. Should we? No, that's fine. That's totally fine. Would that be like we would hold at Al's?
No, yeah, we'll hold at Al's.
Yeah, and then our return will be awaking from Al's
As
to travel
we
back
get
to
back
Tribord.
into get back into our next session, we will have long rested at Al's, and we'll pick up
Okay.
there.
Okay.
And he'll have his horses back. He'll pay you, and you'll be on your way.
The nice thing about a short rest is I got my channel divinity back, my bonus. Channel
I rolled to whether you should have a random encounter here, maybe with the party split, but you got lucky.
That's good that we got lucky.
You did.
Yeah.
You probably didn't get quite so lucky with the roll that I just made, but I'm not sure yet. I'll have to research it.
I'm worried about once we ditch the horses.
Travel.
I mean, the travel. I mean, yeah.
The bell will encumber you because
Right.
with
You
the
will
gear
be
you have
encumbered.
already,
Yep,
you'll
yep.
be encumbered and you'll have to move. It'll take longer to make it back.
Willow and I can split the turns. You know, she could turn to a bear.
Yeah,
we
and
can
it's
we can carry it, but I'm worried about us running into bandits. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, we have to keep it disguised. That's the key thing to remember with this spell. It is slightly exposed with this gold area. That's how we discovered it. And so if somebody else sees this, then we're a target. So we must keep it covered. One of us must, forego their pack to disguise this.
Hey, guys.
We may have to travel at night, so we're not in the daytime. You know, people are gonna see us. So, I mean,
Wait,
you know,
what? No. What are we talking about? I'm sorry, I'm lost.
The bell.
The bell.
The bell.
Bell,
Okay. We'll get a potato sack or something from Al.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
and we'll
We just need some
disguise
kind
it.
of sack. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get a sack.
Yep.
Who's gonna attack a paladin with a big sack on his back
Sure.
like Santa Claus?
That is true.
Yeah, but you're gonna make those decisions in the next session how
Yeah.
you choose to travel. I mean,
Okay.
on the way out here, we just traveled during the day and slept at night.
Right.
If you wanted to travel at night and sleep during the day, that's a party decision, but
Right.
you'd be putting yourself at a disadvantage with a human
Yeah.
Yep.
But
who's.
well, he wouldn't be at a disadvantage so much because if he's in a party,
I guess I misspoke.
if he's in a party with a ranger, then what is it? Natural explorer.
Yes.
Yeah. So I should that should negate that.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Well,
we'll have to think.
Let me
about
put it this way. That's a ways back to Phandalin, and I'm going to roll
No, yeah, because
a random encounter. If I may metagame with
said
you a
2
little
days,
bit.
right?
Sure.
It will be at my whimsy whether that encounter comes during the day or the nighttime. So
Sure.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, and also like
I'm
you
I'm
just
overthinking
said-
it. Phyllis.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2.5 days to burn that. So
Yeah.
something will happen in 2.5 days.
Oh, so we're
Something
not
might
gonna go
happen.
we're not going to go unscathed. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Something might happen.
Yeah.
I am gonna though change direction with what I'd said before and veto that, and we're gonna pick up right here where we left off last time.
Yep. Sure.
Oh, before
at the Shrine of Savris.
before we head to Al's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Fine then. But we took the short rest, right?
We took a short
Took
rest.
short rest.
Yeah.
We threw hit die if we wanted to.
Yeah.
We'll make sure these other party members are filled in on
I will too.
having the
die.
benefits of a short rest.
Yep.
And then we'll pick up right where we leave off with this campfire and the short ended.
Okay.
Ugh,
I like that better. I mean, that seems
Yeah.
more cohesive,
Mhm.
Yeah. And it
contiguous
gives-
in the plot line.
And it gives Willow and Nars a chance to join in.
Yeah, we don't want to cover all this ground without them.
No, that's a. I.
We've talked about a
of that
plan.
earlier.
though. We talked about a plan, and they can listen in on that conversation
And adhere to the
and
plan.
nod their approval or shake their head in their disapproval.
Sure.
And-
But the plan has been made.
It has been made.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks for the great sesh, guys.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a good little session.
Yep. RP.
Are we still rolling? Or
No, we're still live. We can bow out.
Well, thanks for sticking around and watching us, ladies and gentlemen. We hope we've provided you with good entertainment for the last. We only did about 2 hours this time, guys.
We have 2 hours and 3 minutes on the clock.
Jeez,
See you.
that seemed like longer than the last session.